think if music was not there in my life, I will probably today will be dead. Music, in a way, created a very, very safe place for me to be who I am and who I was. And also gave me the opportunity of listening parts of me that I never understood were existing.
Since I remember myself, I've been into music. I'm coming from a very musical family. It helped me to design my character, who I am. I think it became like part of me that you can't disconnect.
I remember when I was a teenager, speaking about emotions and taking care of them was very, very hard. Some things were quite challenging to speak about. And music came and somehow heal those wounds, and somehow putting all of those emotions and those things that were really hard to talk about into a composition, and understand that people were on the other side could resonate with the same thing, first of all made me very happy, and second made me heal even more, because I could understand that this was not only from myself, this was also from other people. They could resonate with the same kind of pain.
And then when I needed to choose something to study in the university, of course it was very normal to go to music. So my bachelor degree is musicology and education. But I never saw myself as a teacher. I always knew that I have a huge passion to help other people. And I know from my experience that music was always like my best friend. And I think that was the best decision that I did.
Às vezes pegava na guitarra ou na viola e cantava umas canções com os miúdos e comecei a perceber que certos miúdos, nomeadamente do espectro do autismo mais isolados, se aproximavam mais e davam mais respostas com a música e com o som. Portanto, a musicoterapia emerge como uma necessidade para intervir com as crianças, porque é um instrumento muito poderoso, porque a música é uma linguagem universal e como os objetos que produzem sons são objetos vivos, eu escolhi a musicoterapia e maioritariamente uso a musicoterapia com crianças.
For me, it was a kind of a dream to work with children from Gaza. It was always a very interesting topic for me, trauma. I experienced it, so I know the influence of music on me. So when I'm scared, I know that if I'm listening or playing music, even just improvising, I know that I feel more calm and more safe. Music is our language, and these children, they don't speak the same language in the hospital. So that's the first way to connect with them. I was working there in the oncology department with the children that have cancer. And this particular patient, she was a child from Gaza and she was about 3 years old. To see such a tiny person dealing with something so huge like cancer at this age and being separated from her mother for maybe a year. And I was a kind of a mom for her. Me and the music that I brought to the therapy with her supported her a lot. She needed a mother figure at that time. And she was very musical. She really liked music. She really liked to sing, and it helped her also to develop her language skill because she had some difficulties there. So we were singing together, dancing, playing music, and just having a little bit fun in this horrible place, the hospital, and with all the hard and difficult treatments. That was a huge relief for her.
A musicoterapia é uma disciplina que utiliza a música, o som e a harmonia por um técnico especializado, neste caso é um musicoterapeuta, que intervém num grupo ou individualmente, de uma forma receptiva ou ativa, ativa tocando, receptiva as músicas são escutadas. Também podemos compor canções, também podemos trazer ideias, também podemos trazer emoções, e aqui vai a questão da cabeça, não é? E depois a música é um fenómeno humano holístico. Porquê? Porque quando nós escutamos música ou tocamos, envolve a parte cognitiva do pensamento, envolve corpo, mexer, e envolve pensamento. Então unifica. Para além de que a música e o cérebro fazem um belo casamento, porque os hemisférios é como se fosse fogo de artifício com a música, ficam conectados, ficam ligados, as partes emocionais, as partes do pensamento, não é? E muitas vezes nós, pela palavra, não conseguimos explicar coisas que sentimos, mas conseguimos através da música que escolhemos. Então a música é uma forma de nos representar também naquilo que nós não conseguimos chegar. Há coisas que nós temos que o verbal é difícil de explicar. Então a música facilita muito. Para além de que há meninos que não falam, não é? Crianças que não falam, mas conseguem comunicar e ter intenção de comunicar através da música. Porque a musicoterapia é, por excelência, uma disciplina da abertura de novos canais de comunicação.
If I'm in a more healing situation, I will try to see what kind of energy and which part of the body is more blocked and what kind of instrument it's more indicated to release that kind of energy. Sometimes the didgeridoo, that is this aboriginal musical instrument that is very grounded, have this very low kind of sound and it's very, very powerful. That maybe will be the best instrument to release that kind of energy. Or maybe it's something more ethereal like the handpan or some shakers or the sensula. Maybe the mind is too noisy, so I will bring a lot of shakers and a lot of things to like clean that kind of space out. Or maybe just like bring some Tibetan bowls to have a frequency to sync everything in, and certain Tibetan bowls have a different frequency for different parts of the chakras. So being connected with my intuition and feel what the person needs to hear. In most of the cases it works perfectly.
Music has an impact on our neurology. So when you listen to a piece of music, it can change the movement and the chemicals in our brain, and therefore it can affect our mood even. If we're listening to a song or a piece of music that reminds us of something, whether it's happy or sad, then the memory takes us directly to the same feeling, and therefore we can connect also to our past through the music. There are also researches that shows that music has an impact on anxiety levels. Just listening to a very slow music and rhythm that repeats itself, because when it's repeating itself unconsciously, taking us where we were babies in our mother belly, and we were listening to her heart. So when she was calm, the beat was the same. But if our mom is not so calm or anxious, something is interrupted, right, in the rhythm. So research shows that rhythm has a huge impact on how safe we feel. We were listening to music when we were already in the womb. And it wasn't only the heart, it's all the parts of her body. We know that there are moms that make the baby listen to music when they are still not out. And actually, listening is one of the first abilities that we develop.
A música mexe com o corpo. No nosso cérebro temos as emoções, temos os pensamentos, não é? Portanto, a musicoterapia afeta neste sentido, gera movimentos internos, não é? Eu lembro-me um dia que alguém dizia, a propósito da música nos hospitais, que tocou uma música, o bebê estava a chorar e o bebê calou-se. E quando a música acabou, o bebê voltou a chorar. Não quer dizer que o bebê tinha perdido a dor quando a música estava a tocar. Gerou-lhe outro foco e um bem-estar. Agora, a música serviu como uma pomada, um bálsamo, não é? Que aliviou um bocadinho aquele bebê daquele sofrimento. Mas se estivesse lá um musicoterapeuta, daria continuidade a esse estado de bem-estar que aquela sonoridade estava a dar àquele bebê. Aproveitar aquela sonoridade para ajudar na nossa relação terapêutica, não é? Portanto, a música liga, conecta ao cérebro e os movimentos internos, e o terapeuta utiliza através das técnicas nessa forma como a música mexe connosco. Essa coisa de, estás triste, vamos para uma música alegre. Não funciona. Provavelmente é mais fácil nós irmos à tristeza da pessoa, compreendermos a tristeza da pessoa, se a pessoa partilhar connosco uma música que representa a tristeza dela.
There was so many moments in concerts and moments just pure playing somewhere in a living room or on the garden, where people could really feel this resonance within themselves. And you know, when you play from a very sacred place of yourself, when you are really saying something that is really meaningful, even if you don't want, people will feel it and will hear it, because it comes from a very, very powerful place. And since I've been playing music and sharing this gift of playing the handpan, those moments have been happening a lot. Some of them, like, they found themselves back again, having joy of life. Some of them resonated so much with my music that even giving birth to a baby was together with my music. Some of them learn how to embrace the inner darkness and just, you know, to acknowledge and accept she's there and she's gonna be part of myself and I can be one.
Also, like using drawing and moving with the music and connecting to the body that is hurting and is in pain, and sometimes the body that some doctor decided to cut this part of the body. I dealt with these things with my patients and I was going through this with them. And then the body image is distracted by that. So just connecting them back to their body, their sick body, was something that grounded them totally. It affects immediately their self-esteem. They make them, because when you're sick, you don't feel so good with yourself. And sometimes, you know, it comes with lots of loneliness because they are out of their social surroundings. They're not in school, they can't see their friends. There's a lot of loneliness in that. And sometimes, another technique, I would take the kids, especially from Gaza, and make a group, and then they can play together. And then they speak the same language, they're coming from the same place, and they're doing something together. It gives us a feeling of home, right? When we are in a group.
People are listening not only with their ears, but they are listening with the full body, even if they are not aware of it. Every single part of our body listens. And there's a big part that is our heart that listens a lot what is behind the word or what's behind the sound. The heart, it feels, and the water that is inside of us resonates with these frequencies and it creates patterns and vibrates. So in a way we can really listen in a very deep way, because when we start listening deep, we can listen ourselves and others deeper. And I think it creates a very better world around us.
Eu acho que a música tem sempre impacto, até porque é impossível não comunicar. Temos um menino muito isolado, um menino autista, que está aqui num canto, voltado para a parede, a balançar-se só. E imagina, ele tem consciência de mim, não quer comunicar comigo, ou não sabe comunicar comigo, está isolado no mundo dele, fechado no mundo dele. E ele vai balançando, e eu vou-te dar um exemplo. Isto chama-se mirroring, não é? E eu começo a fazer um eco de som aos movimentos daquela criança. Conforme eu for sentindo a criança, e se há algumas respostas. A criança para, eu paro. Quando acontece eu parar e a criança parar ao mesmo tempo que eu paro, ele já está conectado comigo, já está em relação.
My experience with children that have autism is that music was their language. Usually, from my experience, but also from talking to other colleagues, music and autism is something really magical. It's the place that they can communicate with the outside. It's less threatening than communicating with other humans. And I witnessed a lot of moments with autistic children that doesn't have the eye contact because it's so threatening. But then if I play something, suddenly you see them looking in your eyes. And that was like one of the best moments that I had with autistic children. Suddenly they see you, you know? And they accept the fact that you're there and they can come close and then you can do something.
There's a lot of interesting reactions to certain musical instruments. The one, of course, I see the most is the handpan. Is the one that have been together with me in so many countries. So with that, I totally could see how some people react in some places, and brings me back to the first moment I saw the instrument. I was like, what the heck is this? And then I got completely mesmerized and like hooked to this sound. Like, whoa, this is incredible, and just the sound of it makes me so excited. Some instruments like the uluzi, that is this musical instrument, it's very used in China, and I'm not Chinese. I never learned how to play the traditional songs. I have my own way of approaching it, and I played it a couple of times in China, and they were so happy to see a foreigner playing their traditional musical instrument. And the way I played it, this is very beautiful when you see that the traditions can be braked and can be open to receive new approaches. In a way, I also try my very best to honor the traditions the best I can and the best I know. Another one that I particularly love and made me fall in love with the ethnic musical instruments, it's the oud. It's a African musical instrument made of ceramic. It's very used in a lot of tribes in Africa. The story of this instrument, they say it's a two-hole instrument because it connects our human body with the higher spirits. Every time you play it, they say you connect both. This one is a shamanic drum. It's made with animal skin, and it's an instrument that is probably one of the most primitive instruments. And it really captures the essence of your spirit. It really connected with nature, with the animals. This was probably the first instrument that connected me with the breath, with the wind, and it's used for millennia in India. It's a piece of bamboo with holes. It's called bansuri. Means bamboo, and suri means musical note. So it's a bamboo that plays musical notes, and yeah, it's a very traditional musical instrument. I fall in love with it. another beautiful instrument that I particularly love. It's a sansula. It's very inspired in the African kalimba. For sure, the percussive musical instruments are the ones that come immediately to my heart as the ones that have the biggest power. And the simple reason it's because they hold the pulse and they have such a strong movement inside of all of us. They have been used for so many centuries in order to reunite the tribe, to communicate to other tribes what's happening. The lion is coming, there is a celebration happening. Suddenly you see yourself completely navigating into a very hallucinogenic or psychedelic flow of rhythm, and your body just wants to move. There's so many ceremonies where people are dancing all night around the fire with just like percussive instruments, and I think those are the ones that hold a very ancient power that we tend to forget. When you start playing a percussive instrument like this, there's a very hypnotic flow that happens, and if you're playing with a lot of people playing the same rhythm in sync, my gosh, there's like portals happening, you know? And I think those are the ones, in my opinion, that hold the most healing power. Traveling around the world and witnessing how music is shared with other generations and how they learn and how they approach a musical instrument inspired me deeply on my journey. And I saw how the knowledge is shared between the old generations to the new one. And I saw this very verbal and very present way of doing it. So the old guru, the old grandpa is sitting down on a chair and is like a din tarket 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 din tarket din tarket din, and the kid goes on his instrument din tarket tarket din tarket din tarket tarket din. So there's a lot of like, you need to be present for this kind of knowledge to be passed to the other generation. And the way people see musicians in India, for example, musicians are seen as equal as a doctor, for example. It's completely opposite from here. Like a musician, it's it's someone that gives himself to art, but it's not so important. Music in India is so important as a doctor. And witnessing this kind of things, you think about it like, wow, like music is very valuable and it's important for people. And when you witness this kind of differences between cultures, you have a different kind of approach to things. Music in Brazil, for example, it's always a way of celebrating and telling very, very beautiful stories. African music makes me just like coming back to the roots. Turkish music just makes me connect with the higher spirit. Celtic music makes me just want to dance and go crazy with the Celtic vibes, you know, and every kind of music has something to tell. I think and I feel that one of the most powerful weapons on this entire world is music. It's the one that is shared between all of us, it's the one that connects all of us, and it's the one that should be used to say things that we cannot say in another way. Music is the answer.